If there's one true thing in this world that you can be 100% certain of, it's your relationship with God and His existence. And that this world was built by God and everything in it was created as a result of Him. And it's just such a crazy thing to think of if you really dive deep into it, because there's so many layers to this world that we probably won't ever truly understand in our lifetime, of course. But when we really look in further, we realize that all things are connected, and even the negative things, we really underestimate how much time we have on this earth. Only God knows how much time you have on this earth. And only you can make the right choices to make the right move for what you think is best for your life. And you have such a short time, and it is fleeting, let me tell you. It is going by so fast that you could blink and it could be 10 years from now. And before you know it, you're missing out on something that you wish you would have done, and you live in regret because the time has passed for you to do it. However, I feel like there is no specific time to end something. There's no specific end time or time that you're too old to do something, because you're never too old to start something. You're never too old to start a hobby. You're never too old to start yoga. You're never too old to begin your new life. You're never too old to try something new. And it all begins with mindset and intention. And when we leave out the mindset, we're confused on how to go or where to progress. So remember that what's truly intentional in life is what you set the intention for. Now, I can't be the one to tell you whether or not, because this can get really deep when you think about the universe and the world and God and earth and space and all that is conveyed within it. And I can't be the one to tell you if, there's truth to our dreams or not, because I've often wondered, I wake up with such vivid dreams, and I feel like when I do have vivid dreams, are they conveying something, or is it just because I got really deep sleep? I often wonder. However, I do wonder sometimes if, you're getting this deep sleep and you wake up from it, is the universe trying to tell you something when you have those dreams? Is God trying to tell you? And I've often heard of stories in the Bible where God comes to you in your dreams too. So maybe you can interpret your dreams that way as well. It's very philosophical thinking to consider that. However, I always say that if you are not getting good rest, or you're not taking time to rest for yourself, you're not going to have clear thoughts or clarity on life. And sometimes every day, perhaps, you can lose sight of what is really purposeful, or what you really intend to do with your life, or what your meaning is. And I feel like it can be attributed to your burnout, your sense of not having any time to relax or take time for self-care. And when you get to this overreaching sense of burnout, it's kind of exhausting and incredibly crazy, because you think, I thought I was passionate about this, but I feel so overwhelmed that I can't even consider that it would even be an option. And this happens to me often because I spend my nights up super late like I am right now. And I wonder, why me? Why am I in this predicament? And then I wonder, why do I feel so much anxiety or so much intense pressure to make a decision on where I need to go with my life? And I feel like it all hinges on my career. And when it hinges on that, I consider, God has a purpose, God has a plan for me, and maybe it hasn't happened yet. However, I can't sit back and let it happen. And I think that a lot of people forego being able to get to that level because there's an obstacle in front of them that they cannot overcome for some reason. There's something blocking them, a blockage. And I've worked really hard to get here. And I look back and I'm just like, a year from now or even 6 months from now, I probably wouldn't have thought about how or admitted that my PTSD has affected me in so many ways. I would have never considered that I could have had ADHD. I would have never considered that, all these things are connected to why I feel the way I feel and why basically I am feeling a certain way, and it's hard to overcome and pull yourself out of paralysis to actually make a difference or make changes in your life, because you feel this sense of like something's holding you back, but you don't know what, and you have no clarity on it now. But when I realized that all it takes is me going out for a walk or really experiencing nature, it really makes a difference. However, this podcast was kind of me rambling on about some nonsense before I need to go to bed and procrastinating. So I hope you have a wonderful Saturday evening or whatever day it is right now. But if you're listening to this and you love my stuff, or maybe you think you're interested in my other stuff, I do have a YouTube channel, a Facebook, and an Instagram under my name, which is Fawn Thayer. And I would love if you could follow me on there, or maybe give me a follow here, because, I'm really trying to make this work and I love connecting with people. I think that's one thing that I really love about life is the amount of people you meet and the amount of people you can make a difference in lives. You can really meet someone and change their outlook on life by being kind to them and having that intention or purpose in their life. So you never know whose life or person you might come in contact with to be able to make that connection. So overall, I feel like it's time for me to go to bed. So I'm so tired and exhausted. It's been a long day. So hopefully I do connect with you, or you connect with me, or you follow me. Thanks for listening.